this police report is consistent with James O'Keefe's defense of what he did. I don't think he did anything wrong, at least based on what I've seen. And in my view, it raises more questions about the targeting of him by the DOJ and FBI. What is going on here? One of the outrages of the Biden administration is the targeting and the attempts to jail his political opposition. We see this with the targeting of Stephen Bannon for not wanting to cooperate with the Pelosi January 6th Rump Committee. And of course, you may recall, the FBI raided the home of our friend James O'Keefe, who founded and is running Project Veritas, supposedly to investigate the stolen diary of Ashley Biden, who is the daughter of the president. And Project Veritas never published the diary. Another site did. But either way, they're a journalist group, and the Justice Department isn't supposed to be raiding the homes of journalists. In theory, I don't know legally whether they can or not, but certainly other journalists who publish material that is classified, they didn't get their homes raided. And Project Veritas, I was reading after this story came out, James said they turned what they thought, they couldn't verify the diary was real. They were concerned it had been stolen, so they turned it over to law enforcement. So we heard that had happened. I think I read it happened in Delray. And what I love about Judicial Watch is I can read something, or my colleagues here can read something in the newspaper and say, well, that's interesting. Let's figure out what went on. Let's ask the Delray, Florida Police Department for records about what happened. Well, we got the records. The records show that indeed a lawyer did turn over Ashley Biden documents to police on November 8th, 2020. It was a 6-page incident report and a body cam footage that was given to us by the Delray, Florida Police Department. And I just love asking local police departments and states sometimes for documents under their FOIA laws, because they sometimes give you the documents and you don't have to sue for them. We filed the request November 16th, so this is like 2-3 weeks ago, and we got the documents. According to the incident report, an attorney turned in, quote, possibly stolen luggage to the Delray Police Department, which, quote, contained documents and envelopes in folders with the name Ashley Biden. Now, the Delray Police Department included body cam footage of the attorney handing over the items. Now, we didn't post the documents online. We didn't post the video online because it looked like it had confidential information of a personal nature of the person turning in the material. So, we're not going to put that out there, but we described it in this report. The incident report, as I said, was filed on November 8th. Now, according to reports, Project Veritas had obtained the diary, I'm not even sure if they did obtain the diary directly, in October 2020. So the possibly stolen luggage was reported to the Delray Police Department on Sunday, November 8th at, quote, 11:21 a.m. It was reported as, quote, as a suspicious incident, excuse me. The report indicates body-worn camera in use. So we have the body-worn camera. And under victims, there's nothing there, listed 0. In a printout for the case for additional names, Ashley Babbitt is provided as an additional name related to this, but there's no additional information associated with her. And the incident report says that Delray Police Officer Nicole Guerrero explained that she met with Adam Leo Bantner II at the Delray Police Department lobby in reference to property that he wanted to turn over to the Delray Beach Police Department. She continued, Adam, who was an attorney, advised that his client, who Adam refused to divulge the identity of, gave Adam some property, a duffel bag, and a piece of luggage that his client obtained from an unknown person. Adam's client told Adam that the property is possibly stolen and he got it from an unknown person at a hotel, which the client refused to share as well. It was also learned that the items belonged to a person named Ashley Biden. A brief check of the property and the luggage revealed that there were some documents and envelopes and folders that were loosely spread in the bags, which read the name Ashley Biden. The documents all had different addresses, but all had the same name of Ashley Biden. The bags were checked for safety and all the contents were left inside and the bags secured at the Delray Police Department. The FBI was contacted and advised they would respond to the police department, collect the belongings, and take over the case. And then later, the officer Guerrero writes, I met with Special Agent Healy. So this is the same day. So they get the documents at 11. She meets with the FBI at 4:24. I met with FBI Special Agent Healy and turned over a blue duffel bag and a black suitcase into his custody. Both contain miscellaneous clothing and personal property. So this is where things stand. You have James O'Keefe saying he turned them over, and then we have these documents. Now, it doesn't say diary, but certainly this police report is consistent with James O'Keefe's defense of what he did. I don't think he did anything wrong, at least based on what I've seen. And I've known James long enough to know that he's scrupulous about the work he does. And in my view, it raises more questions about the targeting of him by the DOJ and FBI. What is going on here? I mean, it looks to me like someone found something, it was turned over to authorities. So why is James O'Keefe being targeted for, quote, stealing, so potentially being involved in the theft? With this extraordinary FBI raid on his home early in the morning, about a month or so ago. And the Justice Department, the good news is in this regard in James's case, because they were taking some confidential material, potentially attorney-client material, it seemed to me, and other material that's typically given some protection by the courts related to First Amendment rights of freedom of the press. And the Justice Department, and typically what happens where you have potentially privileged documents, the Justice Department or prosecutors, the FBI, agree to having, quote, a clean team look at the documents and call out anything that is privileged. And the prosecutors are not allowed to talk to them about what they found or have access to those privileged documents that are protected by the clean team. The Justice Department refused to do that in James O'Keefe's case, and a federal court judge, I think an Obama appointee, overruled the Garland Justice Department, and really an extraordinary rebuke, and appointed a special master to do what James O'Keefe was requesting. Have someone who is independent look at these records so his fundamental rights are protected. So, I mean, what do these documents show? They show, interestingly, that someone turned into the police department some records of Ashley Biden. I keep on confusing her with Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Biden's records, and that the FBI quickly was involved. And this was in 2020. Why did it take a year to raid the home of James O'Keefe? How long did it take them to figure out that James O'Keefe might have had some information about this records cache? It stinks to high heaven. So, and these documents further confirm that. So this is just great work by our investigative team. We're able to get these records without a lawsuit. We got the records about this outrageous abuse of power, in my view, by the Justice Department, at least records that reflect on the suspicious basis for their raid on the home of James O'Keefe and the operations associated with Project Veritas. So some more great work by Judicial Watch.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all the latest news from Judicial Watch.